You're doing a type of martial arts that I've never really looked into. I ought to. I've got it in my blood, right?
Yeah.
It's Filipino martial arts. I looked up the place that you train. It's called PTK, which is, I cannot remember what that stands for, but Kali is part of it, right? Um, let's just talk about that. So, how did you get into Filipino martial arts? And let's start from there.
Gosh. Well, it's 6.5 years that I've been training PTK.
Okay.
So PTK stands for Pikiti Tersha Kali. I call it Pikiti or PTK for short, just because there's different types of Kali.
Sure.
So there's Sayak Kali, there's Atienza Kali. I'm not familiar with those. But Pikiti Tersha Kali is from the Visayas region, and it translates to close quarters combat. And Kalis is the blade, so it's blade fighting in close quarters.
Gotcha.
So you're thinking about close quarters, Tersha is thirds, so you think about the triangle. So a lot of martial arts will turn to PTK primarily for its footwork system.
Okay.
If you're thinking about combat or any type of fighting, any type of real good fighting, you're seeing people strike and move. So you're shooting and moving, you're firing and maneuvering, and so that's what we do is we're not standing still, unless we're trying to build mechanics.
Gotcha.
But we're always, from the first day, you're training footwork.
Footwork, okay.
So I got into it. I wanted to.
So is this a striking based martial art?
It's a striking based martial art.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is a weapon. It's weapons based as well, right?
Yes. It's a blade combat.
I was doing a little bit of homework on this.
There you go.
I've heard about it, right? And we've talked about it briefly from time to time, just sitting around the table, but I didn't realize that it was primarily a weapons-based martial arts from the Philippines. And I was watching some videos on it. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about what you're about to say, and then we can get into some of that later.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I started training. I was really looking for something. First of all, martial arts never crossed my mind ever as a child. And I don't know if this was the same for you, but it kind of found me.
Yeah.
I was looking to protect myself, and I was traveling alone a lot, and I had met this guy. I guess he was based in Denton, and he was consulting for some of the local law enforcement. And I met him at this Filipino New Year's Gala.
Yeah.
And he said that he trains and teaches something called Kali. And so I looked it up and just saw videos of him swinging around a blade, and I was like, man, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I mean, how close would someone get to me if I just had a little bit of skill and could swing a blade?
Yeah.
But then, gosh, my world just kind of opened up. It was just like a whole Pandora's box when I found the specific system that I train in.
Yeah.
So this one is a PTK SMF, which is under the guidance of Tuhan Tim Wade. The system was passed down to him from Grand Tuhan Leo Tigahe. And Leo Tigahe is the sole heir of the system from his grandfather.
Okay.
So it's a familial system, and
it's kind of like jiu-jitsu, from the Gracies and the Machados.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuhan Tim lived with Leo Tigahe for maybe 5 years, and then they were consulting. They came over to the States. They were also consulting for the Philippine Marine Corps.
Okay.
So the Philippine Marine Corps, Tuhan Tim and Leo Tigahe were responsible for actually introducing their close quarters fighting.
Okay.
Because you have the firearms and then you have empty hands, but then you have to bridge the gap.
Gotcha.
So that's sort of where the edge weapons part comes in.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so what I was looking at, what's the guy from Forge and Fire?
Doug Marcaida.
Doug Marcaida, yes.
Uh-huh.
So he's kind of what has informed me on Filipino martial arts, right? Because I watched Forge and Fire, love that show, especially during like COVID. I was watching it all the time. So he was talking about how there's like different forms, or I guess different levels of Filipino martial arts. It starts off with like sticks, right? And those are like escrimas, or what are they called?
Yeah, a lot of the stick fighting that you'll see a lot in arnis and eskrima.
Arnis, okay, that's
And for me with PTK, it's strictly blade fighting. So you'll see us wielding a rattan stick, but it's primarily just a training aid, so that we're not cutting each other up.
Yeah.
But we do treat it as the sword.
Gotcha.
So when people see videos of us sparring, a lot of the times from the outside it can look like we're not doing anything.
Sure.
But we're applying specific strategies and tactics so that we actually don't get hit in the process. Because if we get hit with a stick, we're actually getting slashed.
Slashed.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stick is representing like a blade.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I
yeah.
see. I had no idea.
Yeah, and rattan's just it's the best way to go.
Okay.
It's such a great training aid, and it's also.
Does it make a little snap whenever you hit people with it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts. It'll teach you real quick.
Yeah.
Once you get your hand cut in the process, man.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah. So is an eskrima and a rattan, is that basically the same thing? Arnis, is that all the same?
Yeah, eskrima and arnis are more of the Spanish derivatives.
Okay.
I think I think it's seen more as a sport.
Okay.
Especially in the Philippines, they've got a lot of tournaments. I know that with PTK, the way that it's taught by Tuhan Tim is that this is real fighting, real blade fighting. And we're talking about multiple opponents.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about a fight on the street and trying to protect yourself, it has to be effective against multiple opponents, because you never know
Sure.
when you've got like 2 or 3 people coming up on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's so interesting, because I can just imagine, what that would look like if you had, the sticks or the whatever, the blades, and you're coming at somebody. Ah!
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be horrifying. But the weapon that I see you carry, right? I know that you carry is the karambit, right? Is that how you say that? Karambit?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like an eagle talon almost.
Yes.
It's got a hook on it. So let's talk about that and how that fits into Filipino martial arts. Obviously, with PTK, that's what your main focus is with the karambit and that type of blade, and using that to defend yourself. So let's talk about that some.
Yeah. So I carry the saying is. 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Okay.
So, we carry 2 blades.
Oh, so you have 2 blades on you, like all the time?
Almost all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
One of them is kind of like a karambit. It's not technically a karambit, but you can flip it over. It's got like the hook, like you said.
Yeah.
But you can flip it over and treat it like a karambit.
Gotcha.
It's a Colonel blade
Yeah.
as the brand.
Yeah.
And that thing's pretty tough.
Yeah. So I hate to put you on the spot. Do you have one with you that you can show?
I have one, yes.
Look at that.
It's a Spyderco Delica 4. I use it as my EDC.
Yeah.
I just cut boxes open with it.
Yeah.
This thing that I've had since 2018.
Okay.
I added a fang to it just for fast deployment.
Yeah. Okay.
From my pocket. So
Yeah.
I can't do it right now because I'm seated.
Yeah. Can I see that? So it's a Spyderco. But this is not is this what you would use if you were practicing Filipino? Like somebody came up on you, right?
Yeah.
Could you use this blade
Absolutely.
to defend yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, you have the proper strategies and tactics and the proper range and timing, which is often missing from a lot of striking martial arts.
Yeah.
You'll be able to finish it pretty quickly.
Gotcha. So I was looking at some videos and stuff last night and this morning. The one that I see most commonly associated with Filipino martial arts is the one that has the little loop in the end of it, the finger loop.
Yes.
Is that something that you use?
Yeah, so I have one. It does have a finger loop. Are you talking about the karambit still?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really, it's fun. It's an exotic blade.
Yeah.
It's considered an exotic blade, but a lot of it is for like ripping and tearing of the skin instead of like the stab.
Horrifying.
Yes. And I'm using these words and.
No, this is good because here. Well, I'll get into a little bit more with you because I've had several guests on talking about ladies in self-defense, right? And I'm a real big proponent of women learning how to shoot, learning how to defend themselves through whether it's grappling or some kind of martial art. So this fits right in there. So a lot of people are scared to carry a gun, right? But I think most people would be okay with carrying a knife. And so, I love this,